If you had to pick the lowest, most disgusting Trump moment on the campaign trail in 2016, you wouldn't be able to. And the reason is because there were just too many such moments. But certainly, this next moment is one of the lowest of the lows.
And now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said.
Trump here is making fun of a disabled journalist, mocking him for his disability. Nearly everyone who saw that moment play out was horrified that a grown grown man, would actually behave like a bratty third grader trying to get laughs from the bullies in his class. Democrats were certainly horrified by Trump's behavior. Democrats are the party of the working class and the middle class and the party of empathy. Democrats are the party that cares about the marginalized in this society, people of color, the LGBTQ plus community, the poor, the immigrants, and people with disabilities. And for one regrettable moment, Democrats lost sight of that. They let a bully pick on someone with a disability, and when it was over, some Democrats actually said, well, if that kid didn't act so weird, he wouldn't get picked on. Thursday night, Joe Biden had the worst night of his entire career. He walked right into a situation that was fundamentally designed to heighten his disability. Joe Biden stutters. He has always stuttered. And like most people who stutter, he has worked hard at incorporating strategies that help him overcome the disconnect between the idea-generating part of his brain and the part of the brain that processes speech. Take a look at Biden's worst moment.
If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
Now that moment almost single-handedly opened the floodgates for pundits and media to urge Biden to step down. Biden wasn't up to the moment. He wasn't up to the task at hand. And yes, that's correct. In an artificial speaking format, where Trump could gush lies like a fire hose, Joe Biden was asked to make sure the water didn't get through by using a straw to drink it all in. Experienced debaters have problems defending against the Gish method, where you bury your opponent in specious claims and outright lies, and leave them with not enough time to address all of them, and too little time to decide which of the big lies to take on first. And by the way, that's a favorite technique of Russian propaganda. Gee, what a coincidence. Joe Biden has a speech impediment. You could not pick a more effective technique to heighten his disability. So yes, well played, dirty tactic Republicans. You must be so proud. And since CNN blithely abdicated that it's the candidate's job to fact check, they let Donald Trump lie constantly, continually, and quickly, not to mention duck and deflect every question he got. If you want a more accurate measurement of which candidate has a mind like a steel trap and which is a blithering idiot, take a look at them on the campaign trail the next day. First, here's Trump.
These guys, you'll never get them done. You'll never get them done. They don't have any clue. All they know is electric. They want electric army tanks. They want electric planes. What happens if the sun isn't shining while you're up in the air? Well, sir, I told you there'd be problems, sir. No, they want electric everything. They want electric boats. The problem, the boats, they don't float because the battery is so heavy, it sinks the boat. They say, we don't care, we want them anyway.
This is the kind of typical Trump, wandering off on a tangent, making stuff up as he goes along, and just generally making everyone go, what is this guy talking about? The problem is, Trump does this so frequently, it's become normalized. even though the behavior is far beyond normal and absolutely alarming for anyone to be in the role of President of the United States. In a speeded up moment where he was trying to get the facts out, Joe Biden stumbled badly over COVID and Medicare between a disease and a government program. If you went up to Biden 15 seconds after he made that stumble and asked him, "What's the difference between COVID and Medicare?" you'd see him raise an eyebrow as if to ask, "What are you, a moron?" before telling you one's a disease and one's a government program. Now, if you ask Trump, what's the difference between electric technology and solar technology, he would not be able to tell you. He would not, for example, discuss how one is a subset of the other, that the latter does not depend on batteries for power, but rather charges batteries. The only thing he can tell you is that electrocution is better than getting bitten by a shark. Okay, now let's watch Biden speaking the next day after the debate.
I know I'm not a young man. State the obvious. Well, I know. Well, I don't. Folks, I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
This is Biden when he's free to express himself. No wandering tangents like Donald Trump, fabricating about what the other side is doing, or, for that matter, what the military is doing in terms of weapons development. We like to keep that a secret? Oh, that's right. Trump protecting secrets. What an idiot. Instead, you have a clear, focused individual making specific points. A speaker who admits to his own faults and criticizes his opponent by comparison, not by name calling. And finally, Biden is a speaker who lifts people up, not tears people down. But there is one other important cognitive difference between these two candidates. What does Trump do with the adulation that comes from a group response? He positively revels in it, practically begging for more. What does Biden do with adulation? He reacts and he gauges. He looks for an opening to quell the crowd, and then he cues the crowd that he wants to move forward with his speech. That's the kind of high-level cognitive processing and reaction that you could never get from Trump. And finally, it's worth showing comparison clips of the post-debate. Here's Trump. So yes, greeted by his fawning campaign team and advisors. Is it just me, or is there only one person of color in that entire group? And only 2 women, and everyone wearing power suits? Trump retreats to the closed power enclave that is working so hard to seize back power so they can screw the rest of the country. Now here's Biden.
How you doing? You know, you spend too much time in the gym, I think. Hey, man, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, you welcome. You have our support.
God, love you, Ben. Thank you, guys.
Real people, real place, real reactions, and real support. Joe Biden interacts with each person as an individual, commenting on one man's strength and complimenting one woman's support. And this is Biden after the debate. No doddering old man here. For crying out loud, he throws a move just before entering. This is the candidate that the pundits and the media want to step aside, the most legislatively successful candidate in the history of the United States. Yes, the job of president is exhausting and demanding, and it gives pause to think about a man as old as Biden filling that role. But that pause lasts about 0.157 seconds. 0.157 seconds if the alternative is Donald Trump. And that 0.157 seconds, that's for those who are slow on the uptake. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.